Hey guys, it's Aaron, the home for mobile reviews A.C, and today we're going to do a video comparison between the iPhone 6s and the Samsung Galaxy S6. I've already done a photo comparison between these two devices and was kind of expecting the same result between the two cameras, but there were a couple things that surprised me. With all things considered, I do have to give the hat tip to the iPhone. The things that made the S6 better in terms of photography really don't matter as much when it comes to video. In my opinion, video on a mobile device is really all about capturing something in the moment, which means having steadier footage and having the device be able to capture whatever you're filming in focus, which is something the S6 doesn't do as well as the iPhone. And even if I could skew everything towards the S6, there is just one thing that will constantly make me choose the iPhone over the S6 for videos. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to talk about the video quality, audio quality, 4K video, slow-mo video, action videos, as well as the autofocus.
Real usage, real reviews. Mobile reviews A.ca.
At Mobile Reviews A.ca, we base everything we do on actual usage. So with this video comparison, we went and shot video with it. And we left out most of the technical bits like sensor diodes and die size and sensor transfer gates because most of that stuff won't matter to most people. For this video comparison, all the footage that I captured over a span of about 2 weeks, and I've got about 30 gigabytes worth of video footage, which is quite a bit considering that everything is in duplicate, and staring at duplicate videos is worse than staring at duplicate photos. In terms of video quality, as I mentioned in the photo comparison video, the iPhone 6s has better color clarity in my opinion. My wife says the color looks a little more natural and the exposure of the video is better. In general, the iPhone 6s footage is a little cooler than the S6's, and as you can see in this driving clip, the footage coming from the S6 seems a little more depressing as it doesn't expose the blue sky as well. Field of view on the Samsung Galaxy S6 is still superior, as you can definitely see more in the S6 footage. But for video, I don't think it's as important because when you're running and gunning with your videos, you're probably going to be putting the subject right in the middle, and that's going to be the focus. You don't really care much about the stuff around it. Another problem with the larger field of view is that you're capturing so much more stuff, which means all the stuff in your video is just a little less detailed. When it comes to filming in dark areas, my initial guess was the S6 was going to be better because still photographs in low light conditions was better on the S6 than on the iPhone, but I was wrong. The iPhone 6s does a wonderful job of exposing the footage in a dark room, which means there's more things for you to see. If you look closely at the shadows along the desk, you can see more desk sides in the iPhone 6 footage than you can in the S6. Noise is still there for both cameras. I can't really comment about it because it all looks kind of the same. It's speckly. In terms of audio quality, there is a clear winner, literally a clear winner. The Samsung Galaxy S6 does a much better job of picking out my voice in noisy environments. Just listen to these quick clips.
Curious about the sound test. There's somebody drilling something somewhere.
Curious about the sound test. There's somebody drilling something somewhere. My voice is barely audible on the iPhone's footage, whereas it's incredibly clear in the S6, apart from all the noise in the background. Now you might be thinking, this is not a big deal, the audio quality, but think about it. If you were to turn off the audio on this video, then you would just see me moving my mouth. A very awkward thing for you to look at. But if I had poor video quality but excellent audio, that means you can still listen to the video. You may not be able to see everything in it, but you can still kind of listen to it like radio. So audio quality when it comes to video footage is actually very important. When it comes to recording in pretty quiet environments like in here, the audio quality is about the same between these two devices. When it comes to 4K video, both devices shoot it, but I'm generally a little disappointed with them both. There was a lot of breaks in the footage when I played it on my TV. I filmed Monty in duplicate, doing a couple of commands and while I was driving around in my car, and apart from the comments, other than the comments that I've mentioned above in terms of video quality, I don't have anything else to add. As a side note, the S6 can only handle 5 minutes of 4K video at a time, which the iPhone can do more. Now when it comes to slow-mo video, the iPhone wins hands down. The moment you start recording slow-mo video on the S6, it's almost like the camera farts. You basically lose a ton of detail, the colors go all crazy, and everything just seems cartoonish in a sense. As you can tell from this footage of Monty running up onto my deck, it looks way better on the iPhone 6, and it seems pretty crazy to me that you would have these cameras do such wonderful things with normal footage and normal photographs, and then you turn it to slow-mo and the S6 footage just goes When it comes to autofocus, the iPhone 6 does a better job because of its focus pixels. And, you know, Apple highlighted this in their keynote, and they make it sound like they were the first ones out of the gate with it, and they're not. I believe Samsung was using focus pixels in the Galaxy S5, but, you know, that's Apple for you. Late to the game, and they claim that everything they do is the world's first. That's Apple. With the S6, the autofocus seems really active, but it's incredibly slow. Anytime something moves on the screen, it goes through a refocusing cycle, whereas in the iPhone doesn't do it as noticeably. In terms of action shots, as I was shooting Monty running across the sidewalk, I did notice the iPhone 6's is a lot blurrier than the S6 footage. It's a lot more detailed, which was kind of surprising to me. But when you're watching the full detail, the loss of detail in a single frame isn't as noticeable. What is noticeable is the lack of video stabilization that the S6 has. You could turn it on, but it doesn't seem like it's doing anything, because in this footage where I'm just walking around, you can definitely see when I'm stepping while I'm walking around with the video camera. For the stabilization footage, I basically walked around like this with the two things in the same hand. So the video stabilization on the iPhone 6 is definitely much better. And one of the reasons why I think it is that they say this is only a 12 megapixel camera. I think it's higher, but Apple actually just constrains it, because when you flip between the photo and you flip between the camera, it actually crops out some of the areas. And that's really good for video stabilization, because the device is probably recording a lot more detail, but with the stabilization, it's picking and choosing which parts are being rendered in your video, that's kind of my cockamamie guess in terms of why the OIS is so much, or video stabilization is so much better on the 6 than it is on the S6. Again, that's just my guess. There is one thing that will make me choose the iPhone 6s over the S6 any day of the week, and that's all the accessories that you can get for the iPhones. Apple tends to keep the general shape of their iPhones the same for 2 years at a time, so accessories manufacturers can spend a lot more time and effort making things that are awesome. I've got a hit case snap on here that allows you, it's a pretty tough case that allows you to put on different types of lenses. I can't do that for this S6. Hit case doesn't make a similar product. So there's a lot more flexibility in terms of what I can do with an iPhone. And when it comes to video, being able to capture stuff like strapping an iPhone to the side of your car, that's freaking awesome. I love doing stuff like that, but you definitely won't be able to do it with this easily anyways, or safely for the device. So that's kind of all I got. If you have any questions for me, leave them in the comment section below. You can find me on Google+, Twitter, as well as Facebook. I'm on Tumblr and Instagram. If this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, I do encourage you to click subscribe, as we produce lots of content that is based on real usage. I'm cooking ribs in the stove right now. I'm really hungry, and Monty is just kind of hanging out down there by the door. I don't know if you can see him. There he is. All right. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.